My name is Aram. Welcome back to Godsfall. Godsfall is a custom fantasy story told through the lens of a Dungeons & Dragons game that is played and recorded in Washington, D.C. and written and produced in Chicago.
Hello, my name is Joe. I am playing Lord Haldir Loran, a level 5 High Elf Warlock.
Hi, I'm Kay. I'm playing Queen Phryane, a 5th level High Elf Bard.
Hello, my name is Michael. I'm playing Chancellor Gringle, a gnome scribe and private secretary to Her Majesty.
My name is Doug, and I'm playing Dorro, Knott, 5th level Halfling Rogue.
Hi, my name is Kelly, and I'm playing Rina Falaval, a 5th level Wild Elf Ranger.
Previously on Godsfall.
Lord Haldir Loran of Rylend made an appearance in Andi, bypassing the Kadarian blockade with the help of a trio of magical elven ships.
Here's where we are. You've been at sea for several days now, and you are heading directly towards Andi, and you are heading there basically pick up the corpse of your brother. Now, you are on one of 3 of these elven ships. One of these elves, a young one, is around the main mast, which is a living tree. It's got ropes and vines off it that are used to sailing and brigging. And he has gotten himself entwined in them.
So I walk up to him, I draw my sword, and I cut the vine. I walk away. All right, I'd like to return 10 minutes later. Does he see me?
Yes.
Okay.
He stands straight. He passes out. Thump, hits the deck hard.
So I follow them until they drop on the table. So I look at him and I say, "What is your name?"
Vessin, sir. Vessin Talvir.
Are you in the habit of making a fool of yourself on the ship?
No, sir.
And then I look at him and I kind of maybe soften up a little bit. He's
young.
The young bull on the ship.
This is his first mission, and it's not going well.
Never lock your knees when you stand at attention.
Yes, sir.
And then I leave.
Perfect.
'Cause he passed out.
Afterward, Haldir found his way to the chamber of his grandmother, known affectionately to most as Lady Aster.
Pats your head, and she pats your hand, and she tells you how handsome you are, and how much more handsome you grow every day, and how it's such a joy to see such a handsome young boy. And she pours you some tea.
Say, "Grandmother, you spoil me."
Of course I do, child. You'll have to spoil the good ones. The idiots are too plenty.
Their conversation quickly turned from pleasantries to the new queen of Andi.
Do you think she has vulnerabilities?
If she had vulnerabilities, that time may have passed. If, from what I understand is true, she's been spending most of her time in the throne room.
I do hear, as you hint, she has power.
Oh, she has power, my boy. They cheer her name along with the cities. Phryane is the call you will hear from the people now.
All right, so Brannick has just disappeared.
Vanished, my queen.
How did he escape?
His door's locked. The guards never left their positions. He's simply gone.
Has anyone started a search?
Yes, ma'am. We are on it now. And as you're saying that, you actually hear a couple horns in the distance.
Your Majesty, members of the court, might I present His Grace, Lord Haldir Loran, first heir of the House of Loran, Knight of the Order of the Rylendic Star.
All right, well, first, as all this is happening, I'm just going to do a little bit of, I want to feel out how everyone else is feeling.
Nothing from him.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Like a
Nothing.
blank wall?
Blank.
That evening, Haldir called the young elf whom he spoke with earlier to his private chambers and taught him a very different lesson.
I say, "Come in."
Up and then these 2 doors swing open, and at there is the same gentleman you sent, along with this young ship's aide.
What's his name?
Vessin.
Vessin.
Yeah.
I'd like you to do something for me,
Yes, sir.
and I will pay you for it. I will pay you well.
Yes, sir.
I'd like you to hit me.
And that, like, what little color was left is now gone. He's like, what?
And I stand up, and I walk over to him, and I look at him, and I say, "Hit me. If you do not hit me, I will have your mother and your father killed on the streets of Rylend.
Please, sir. No.
Hit me."
Please, sir. He swings at you. Okay.
I'd like to try and block it. You dare to raise your fist to Haldir Loran?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry.
And I cock my fist back and I punch him as hard as I can in his face. I say, Vessen had an unfortunate accident. Remove him.
Done, sir. And they rush in and they roughly pick him up and drag him out of your room. And as they do, two people run in and they're wiping the floor with blood. There's literally someone on their knees wiping blood off your foot right now.
I walk to whatever place I refresh myself, and I wash off my knuckles.
Okay.
And I wash off my hands.
You go to the same basin, right? And your knuckles are bruised and bloody. There's two places where they're just split wide open, where like the edge of his tooth is just cut into. I mean, your hands are savaged from this, right? And you place them in the water, and blood just fills the basin. And once again, this darkness comes up in tendrils and just seems to swallow the blood, seep into your wounds. The bruising, the swelling, everything just vanishes as this dark smoke just vanishes inside your wounds, and you're fully healed and fully rested.
All right, well then I guess off to the pre-feast I go.
Wonderful. It is gorgeous. There are ribbons and I guess there won't be balloons. What the hell would they put up for decorations in ye olden days?
Bunting.
Bunting.
Garlands.
Good. Lots of garlands and flowers everywhere. Gorgeous flowers and plants and bunting and birds and food and everything. All lined up.
Draped silken
Yeah.
cloth, the whole thing. Yeah.
Beautifully arranged. Everyone's already there. of
Wrought
course.
filigree arbor.
Yes, exactly. And there's in fact, there's several of these big white arches that have been set up that have ribbons flowing in between them and flowers flowing in between them. So you're walking down this tunnel.
And who's all coming to this?
Anyone who's anyone, that kind of thing.
Right, but how are guests being screened?
Oh, they're just there's only like the upper class being invited, and those that are passing through the gates are being searched like anyone else would be.
And their identities being verified.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. In fact, there's
not
been
just
much...
throwing open the gates and being like,
No.
hey, come to a party. 'cause
There's been much tighter
certainly
security
no
in
issue
general.
can come with that.
Yeah, there's been much tighter security in general ever since there was the attack during the coronation. Well, during the flotilla.
Just making sure.
People have long memories.
But I shall keep my eyes out for any unwanted guests.
Of course, yes, and of course, Gringle is there.
Right, and he's so nosy, he'd totally notice anyone.
Yes, he would. Yes, he absolutely would. He's old enough. He's like 200 years old. He knows people.
I would like to keep my eyes out for anyone seemingly out of place.
Roll perception. Roll 3.
Presumably, I would know who the ruling class is.
Yeah.
Like, are there strange servants?
9, a 16, and a 13. But I don't know what my perception is.
Yeah. No, I mean you.
Plus whatever.
Yeah. You are just, and everyone so far is checking out. And you're just being very careful. You normally dot your I's and cross your T's, but this one you're being particularly careful about.
Well, I mean, we have a Rylandic ambassador here and the whole thing. So.
Absolutely. So you're all sitting down for a wonderful breakfast, and there's entertainment, and there's music, and you're just sitting across from each other.
Is there any kind
seated.
of receiving line, or are people presenting themselves to me?
You were the last one seated, of course. Everyone else arrived first, and then everyone stood as you were leaded to the head table, and then everyone sat again once you sat.
Which I kind of like, but also find exhausting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really comfortable with the power.
Right.
It's the
pomp.
It's the obsequiousness and like unnecessary amount, which again partly I like.
Yeah.
But
Because it reminds you of the power.
Right.
But it takes time.
It does.
Everything
It takes
time. You have
time,
to
and it's
wait
sort
for
of
them
exhausting.
to. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you also know the sycophancy is quite disingenuous anyway.
Right.
Right.
Especially because it can read people, and I'm like,
Right.
90% of these people hate me.
Yeah. Or at the very least, they're all like, "Oh, can we get this over with?"
And so, part
as
of me,
anyone would.
much like the girl who is like running away from her engagement ceremony, it's a bit stifling.
Yes.
Especially because it's all combined with the fact that people are trying to either kill me or grab me or torture me or...
And you're on display. I mean,
Yeah.
the whole time you're there, even if you were to wipe your nose, 20 people would see it
Yeah.
and make an opinion of it. So you're constantly on display. Yeah.
Right. And like, well, I would really like not to give a fuck.
You have to kind of give a fuck.
Because my hold on power is tenuous,
Yep.
particularly in the absence of Sirenna, I really have to play the game.
Yep.
And I'm finding it vexing.
Yeah, fair enough.
I hope your meditation was restful. I don't know.
Yeah,
What
sure.
did
Yeah,
elf
that sounds
say?
like something an elf would say. Why not? Yeah.
I hope your meditation was restful.
I hope your baby was delicious.
It was fine. I hope yours was adequate.
Aw.
Oh, you know. So eating stuff happening. Like, I'm really not feeling up to like, I know I have to.
Right.
But like, I'm somewhat perplexed by him.
Sure. And still the same, by the way. The
Yeah.
same complete void from him.
So you're being like a little more curt towards me?
Not
type of-
curt, but I just am not feeling up to like a lot of small talk or like engaging. Like I'm sort of just watching what's going on around me. Maybe a little bit, you know, just because I'm not as like on pushing out warmth sensations to like, because that frankly right now is less exhausting than like having to put on a whole show.
No, so you're basically just like, everyone just be happy.
Yeah.
Right? Just then you're, boom, and you're just going to put out happiness. Perception.
I know it's a risk, but I just am tired.
3. My perception.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's 8 total.
Okay, you are focused, and while this doesn't touch you, everyone around you is comfortable and happy. The general mood is celebratory and happy.
Lifting my own.
Exactly.
And I don't notice that everyone's a little more happier.
Correct. It just kind of naturally happens
It's
around
a party. People are having mimosas, you know.
you. Yeah, but you're the frog in the water right now. You don't notice it boiling. It's just happening around you.
If you have time today or tomorrow, I would love, my queen, of course, I would love to have a tour of the grounds.
Phryane is directly next to you, by the way. And she is just kind of gently leaning in, and she knows so many lovely places in the city. The queen is so knowledgeable of some lovely areas in the city. I'm sure she'd be happy to show you.
And
She's speaking out of turn.
She is speaking a little out of turn
someone
here.
is like matchmaking.
She's trying.
I know I've been going out in the city to like, you know, yay, love me and whatever.
Totally.
But I really am trying to avoid unnecessary trips out into the city.
Right. Certainly unsafe ones.
Yeah.
There's a lot to show on the ground.
Yeah. So I think what I would
Could I
do...
notice this hesitation?
Roll perception.
Versus your deception if you're trying to hide it.
I'm not really trying to... I mean, I think I would do more and say,
8
you know...
and 5, 13.
You know, obviously, duties of state are quite demanding on my time. I'm sure we can arrange something. There are certainly many wondrous things to see on the grounds.
Are you devoid of any warmth in this whatsoever?
I'm just so tired.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
Yeah.
I've been doing this, like, parrying for a month.
Yep.
I'm exhausted by
You don't have a lot of answers yet.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's cute, but he's mysterious. Like, everybody's out to get everybody. You're quite fascinated by sightseeing. it would seem.
And I would notice that quite clearly.
Yeah, that was pretty blunt. I don't think you need to roll for that one.
Yeah, it wasn't intended to be subtle.
Then I could say, pardon me, my queen, while we're being blunt, it is not the sightseeing I'm interested in.
Ooh.
Oh.
So Frenemy is like,
No, Phryane just kind of like, she's leaned back and she's now very, very interested in this bowl of onion soup in front of her.
well, your interest is apparently large. Your imagination seems somewhat limited.
The challenge has been well laid.
Well laid.
Now, meet me tonight at dusk, just before the sun goes down. Where?
Yes, I know what dusk is. No, I wouldn't have actually said that. But,
Yes, I know. Repeat for emphasis.
The one place you've never seen is the Queen's Garden. Very few people.
But
have.
I want to meet someplace that we both would know. So meet me at the inside, just inside the castle gates.
Sure.
intriguing. I will try and arrange affairs that would be possible.
Excellent. Perception.
And a bunch of people come out and stab you.
12 plus 9, so
That'll do it.
20. Yeah.
You feel queasy. Your equilibrium is totally thrown off, and you grab the table for a second. You have to steady yourself with the breath. And then you just feel an opening behind you and a pulling of air, and there is an explosion. And for a second there, you're absolutely convinced that Dorro's behind you. And then all of a sudden, Brannick is there. He's in half plate. He is drenched head to toe in blood, and he has a huge sword in his hand. Initiative.
Gods!
Okay, and Brannick, I guess?
Brannick rolls a 17.
Okay, Phryane, Haldir, Brannick, Gringle, guards. Phryane, first to act.
I know he's immune to me, right?
Seemingly, yeah. You haven't really explored that much from what you have.
You can't read him, but you don't know if you can influence him. You haven't tried.
That's true.
I mean, I think what I would want to do is push out immediately the sense in as many people as possible.
Defend your queen.
They need to protect their queen.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
That is what everybody wants to do.
Absolutely.
Well, probably yelling, like, I mean, but I wouldn't want to yell "protect your queen" because that's like not all like very powerfully.
Right.
Is that pushing out thing an action so I couldn't like?
That would be an action.
Okay,
yeah.
so I couldn't then like back up.
No. You can move and take an action.
Okay,
so you could back up while you're doing
I'm
this.
getting the fuck out of the way.
Absolutely. While you're, protect your queen.
Yeah.
Roll me a charisma, please.
19 plus 3, 22.
That's
Actually,
gonna
it's
do it.
plus 6 because that's a saving throw. So,
Oh, okay. So that 25.
That's going to do it. So they're mainly there. I mean, the first thing, this is a danger. The queen's here. Pretty much everyone's protect the queen anyway, so you didn't have to push that hard, but you snapped them too pretty quick. As you step back, there's already 2 guards who have stepped in front of you.
okay, Haldir.
I stand up. Well, is take the figurines out? Is that an action?
You
is
can
that a movement?
stand up and take them out and use them, yes.
Okay, so I stand up and I take out my figurines and I yell, "Lana, Yanya!"
As your guards are stepping in front of Brannick, he stands up, he shouts 2 names you haven't heard, he throws his hand in like the big swirl of his cape, right? And these 2 little golden figurines fly out of his hand. Like he just tossed 2 little Monopoly figures. Think, think, think in front of you, and for a second you think he's insane. And then the very next second, 2 golden lions erupt out of nothingness, let out a terrible roar, and clearly are putting themselves now in between Brannick and you.
Brannick.
Okay, Brannick is crazed. His eyes are just wild, and he's staring everywhere, and he's got his sword clearly gripped. He hasn't acted yet.
Okay, holds action. Gringle.
Gods, arrest this man!
Yep, that's gonna start everything.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
Guards.
Okay, and they go in. So the guards go right in. The first one swings at Brannick, bounces off his armor. The second one comes in towards his face, and he meets him directly, and his eyes are now focused.
Is there anything like are they all like red or something or just?
He looks enraged.
Okay, like he's about to go like straight up berserk.
That seems to be what's going to happen, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, lions.
I want them to incapacitate.
Okay.
If it means kill, it means kill. If not,
Okay.
it doesn't.
There are stats for the lions on your sheet.
Oh, I hope the lions don't get killed right away. That would be so sad.
Wouldn't that be sad if the lions died? Who knows? So here's what the lions can do. I know this is so tiny. Sorry, I should just.
That's okay.
So they, the lions have this ability to pounce. So if they move 20 feet in a straight line and strike with a claw attack, they can pounce on their target and try and pin it. So roll for them both to hit with a claw attack.
So 17
Plus 6 is 23. That'll hit.
and 15.
21. That'll
21.
hit. Okay, so both his lions leap for run, and then leap, hit Brannick at the same time. Claws and teeth go into the metal of his shoulders, and he is drugged, slammed down onto his back, and pinned by 2 heavy lions. He is able to hold on to his sword. He rolled a natural 20.
Wow.
So he is freakishly strong.
Shame.
He's able to hold on to his sword. He's struggling, but he's pinned by 2 lions. The guards are on top of him pretty quickly. Yeah, he's incapacitated. I mean, he's being stripped of his sword. He's being held. He's screaming and biting and flailing.
Is there any kind of, I should know this, but is there any kind of like put someone to sleep spell?
You could certainly calm him just with your own abilities. But yes, there is a sleep spell.
Yeah.
Do bards have it?
C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, sleep. Okay, 1 action, range 90 feet, which you're within. Components, you have to say something and wiggle your hands and drop a rose petal. And
they're everywhere at the start.
Yeah. That's not a problem.
And it'll last for 1 minute. This spell sends creatures into a magical slumber. Roll 5d8. The total is how many hit points of creatures this spell can affect. Creatures within 20 feet of a point you choose within this range are affected in ascending order of their current hit points, ignoring unconscious creatures. Starting with the creature that has the lowest current hit points, each creature affected by the spell falls unconscious until the spell ends. The sleeper takes damage, or someone uses an action to shake or slap the sleeper awake. Subtract each creature's hit points from the total. But can you just decide who you want to?
You would focus it on one person and then subtract all their hit points from it. You could start somewhere.
You cast a spell using a spell slot of 2nd level or higher. Roll an additional 2d8 for each spell slot above 1st. So you could cast this at 3rd level.
You could put multiple people to sleep if you wanted to.
I really just want to put Brannick to sleep.
Right,
and
exactly.
I want to make sure he's fucking out.
Yes, I would just focus it all on him.
5d8 plus 2 plus 2. So 9 die 8s is what you roll.
Okay.
Versus his hit points.
That's going to do it. I would imagine. Unless you roll really, really poorly.
Okay, so
Hit points.
3, 5, 1,
8, 9,
and 2.
11,
3,
14,
4,
18,
1,
19,
and 5,
24,
and then one more. Oh, a 1.
26. So
25.
Okay, sorry, 25. So he's being held. He is raging, even against the 4 people and the 2 lions and 2 people holding him down. He's still putting up a fight. You can see where the lions are now biting hard into his shoulder and drawing blood. And he's still fighting against them. And you just go and you put your hand on his head. Like,
Oh, do I have to touch him?
yes.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
You can
I
be
just
at
wave my
90 feet
hand.
away.
I thought the touch was sleep. So
Yeah,
you
I'm not getting within a...
all right. Wavy, wave.
Yeah, sleep,
right.
sleep.
Sleep.
Well, all she has to
right.
do is drop a rose petal. So
Right.
Put some rose petal.
Rose petal. Grab some rose petals, fling them in his face, sleep. And
Roll
you
back
see his
these-
eyes kind of fighting it, but he's clearly much weaker, and they're able just to like overwhelm him, and you just see his head kind of vanish under a pile of
tiny
bodies.
head.
His tiny little
It
head.
doesn't take much to make it disappear.
You see his tiny little head vanish behind a napkin, and he's taken down. And then the next time you see him is when he's out cold and being drugged to his feet, bound heavily,
Okay.
stripped of his armor and weapons.
Okay.
Still covered in blood.
All right. And
Also, a lot of other people are now smeared in blood. Whatever blood it was still wet.
What about those lions?
The lions have kind of like, they're growling, but they've slunk back a bit, and they're still in a little horseshoe around the queen. They're still like on alert.
and are we still in initiative?
No, I mean there's nothing else to fight.
Okay, so what I would like to do is, assuming I think I still have some in my,
special bag?
my magical designer handbag.
Yep.
Like, I want someone to like pour like tranquilizer down his throat.
Oh, like that true serum tranquilizer?
Not true serum yet.
Tranquilizer.
Like just like whatever Aenean Ambien is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Done. He'll be immobilized for a good day and a half.
Wow. Okay, that's a long time.
How long did you want him to be out?
Well, a couple of I want to be able to like question him eventually.
Sure.
What I really would like to do, and perhaps what I'm going to need to do, is send for some sort of apothecary, perhaps Ella's family or whatever. What I need, I mean, right now I just want him out because God knows what can happen. And I don't know where he's coming from. Like, he just appeared
covered in blood.
God knows what he's been imbued with.
Right.
Like,
was he sent?
yeah,
What happened?
does he have powers now? Like, I don't know.
Yep.
And so I want him incapacitated now, but I want to be able to question him. And I mean, I know there was all this torture.
There wasn't all this torture.
Oh.
In his head, there was all this torture. Oh. But it didn't actually happen. Exactly.
Okay, because
you never hurt him.
Yeah.
You
that
never
doesn't
harmed
seem
him.
to be-
He was just crazy and trying to kill you,
tried
so
to
you had to put
kill
him away.
you. He literally tried to kill you with his bare hands, and you had to have him restrained.
Right, but I thought at one point like I had tortured him, but apparently he
Only
just
in his
imagined
head.
that.
He thinks it happened, but
Okay.
it didn't actually happen.
Fin for the Sarlaccs!
Turn to him and say, because witty banter. Well, that was certainly more than adequate. And then.
And then I will introduce, and I'll say, my queen, please, I am pleased to introduce Lona and
Yanya.
Yanya.
Lona and Yanya.
I am pleased to introduce Lona and Yanya.
And there's an almost Oinkers-like awareness. As the names are said, the cats almost straighten up a little bit more. Like they know their names. Like they know they're being referenced.
Well, I am certainly thrilled to be presented to them, and sort of look at them and not approve and like, may I touch them? May I greet them?
Lona walks right up. Yanya's a little more resistant, but they both
Well, I was asking
approach
his
you.
permission.
As soon as you put your hand out, they walked
They'll
up.
come-
So
you can
they
ask them.
started to walk before he even answered. They seem very happy to. Lona especially. Big, purr, big huge headbutt.
Yeah, maybe a little scritching behind
Yeah,
the ears.
it's like a cat, right? Except there's force.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a little startling, but
Yeah.
they're very sweet.
So I'll do whatever it is one does to cats to, make them be all like, yay.
Big purr. Big purr. Big huge paw for a second. Massive claws, but the gentlest touch.
So, all right.
Both
Good.
females, by the way. Both lionesses.
Lionesses, so no mains.
So they're not lazy and
Right.
useless.
Right, exactly.
Precisely.
I'm trying to think of what I would do. I mean,
When two magical lions just appeared to protect you from your sort of kind of ex-boyfriend who had been magically poofed away and is now covered in blood with a sword. Yeah, it'd be a lot to take in.
yeah,
situation.
Yeah,
While you're trying to have this brunch party,
Yeah, and kind of flirt with the new guy. You know what I mean? That's a lot to deal with.
totally ruined brunch.
Yeah.
People are covered in blood, so probably they're not going to want more brunch.
No, I
And
think
like,
that kind
at
of
what
killed some
point
appetites.
are people going to be like, Phryane, I just really can't come to parties you throw anymore.
Sorry that I value my life, but
They're really fun for like an hour, and then it's so stressful.
And then there's blood, and I just,
It's
maybe.
exciting is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, let's leave early before we get
it's
killed.
like going to a
Yeah.
wedding in King's Landing. It's just something you don't do.
I'm like, well,
They all
I've got
start
this-
off so well.
I've got this other thing,
Yeah.
I'd love to, but
It probably won't get
it's
me
my
killed.
grandma's birthday, so.
I wore white. I really can't get blood in this.
Yeah. I mean, where is the place I feel most secure? Presumably in the throne room.
Oh, totally. Yes.
At this point, I'm probably going to want to repair to the throne room, and what I'm going to do is point at you,
Gringle.
you as frenemy, you, maybe both of the lions.
And you too. And they straighten up.
Sort of basically do this, and we're out gesture.
Oh, so you with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like entourage, off to the, yeah.
Yeah, the lions are walking in slow motion, shoulders all slinky, tails going back and forth.
I guess maybe my parents, that's the one thing is like, I don't feel very connected to them.
Well,
in
they
the game,
are,
but-
they are there,
Yeah.
but they were like kind of on the opposite side, doing things they were, of course, immediately concerned and have come to and like, are you all right? Are you all right? But you're fine.
But that's fine for you to feel aloof about your parents. I feel like you would have anyway.
Yeah.
given their
Yeah,
position.
you've been a
as
little
queen.
pissed at them, so that's fine.
And plus like my dad was all maybe
You were
Marguerite
more
for a
raised by
while.
me, by Gringle, than you were by your father.
That's fair.
Yeah, and plus he like pulled some shenanigans
Right.
that I still don't appreciate.
Plus shenanigans.
Yeah, he tried some serious shenanigans.
Yeah, plus like I'm married now, thanks Dad.
Right, exactly.
All of a sudden.
Yep, he did get you
So-
married.
I'm gonna head to the throne room because
Yeah.
I need to like,
Done.
and I'm like, am I covered? Is there blood? That would be very upsetting.
Not even a drop. However, there are hot towels brought to you anyway as you are walking, and you are quickly ushered into the throne room. There are guards everywhere now. Now there were always guards there, but the guards do a very good job of being in the background.
And
Now
also-
the guards are very present.
I'd like to make sure two of my servants each bring full pheasants for my lions.
Of course.
Because
Good call.
yeah.
Of course, absolutely. They do need a little snack
They need
once
to
they've been summoned. Yeah, they're only here for a while. Yeah. So yeah, 2 pheasants are immediately brought to them, and you guys retire into the throne room. The big cats are chewing on pheasants. somewhere on the floor somewhere.
What about those like magical shackly things? Remember?
The manacles, we have them.
They stole them.
Stole them!
Got the manacles, they got the ball, they got all that crap.
So annoying.
Yep.
So there's no way to like magically contain Brannick.
Oh, there's definitely a way to magically contain Brannick. There are those discs.
Yeah, but they're like far.
They're like far
Right.
away and not near.
I mean, there are some in the prison too. There's a couple in the prison. They just didn't use them because they didn't think Brannick had any abilities.
Are there any in the throne room, or can they be made to be in the throne room?
Can we bring them up from the dungeons?
You can't move these things. That's the problem. No, we'd
You might have to
be
sell
in
it
the
yourself
dungeon.
and go down to the dungeon.
Well, no, but I want the power of the Tear of Soul.
No, I see what
Whatever
you're
one
saying.
I made.
Perhaps we could construct a quick, cell in the center of your throne room.
That could certainly be done. A cell could certainly be set up in the throne room. They
Yeah.
just can't move one of those discs.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the physical thing is fine. I can see
Certainly.
around that. It's like if he has some sort of like magical like berserker powers that
True.
I'm a little bit more concerned about. So I'm going to think about this for a minute.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
Maybe recenter myself under the tier. Be like, all right, well, that wasn't awesome.
Sure. After they've been fed, after you guys have gathered, it's pushing about an hour. So they would kind of come up to you, both lions, looking a little sleepy, looking
And
a little drowsy.
actually, at this point, no. I'm going to think about this a little time, but like the time for subtlety has passed.
There you
He has
go.
just like created lions.
Right. Yeah. Flat out created lions. And right now they're kind of like around him, looking a little drowsy.
Yeah.
Kind of resting their head on his lap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think I just be like, what are you?
Yeah, fair enough.
What am I? The same as you, a high elf. And then I guess unsummon them, or
Yeah, you could easily
I
just have
release
them
them, I
return, and
guess.
they just become two little figurines in your palm.
and
again.
I show them to her. I don't allow her. I guess I don't put it close enough that was like inviting to take. And I say, in my studies, in my travels, I have learned and found many things, including these lions. So I explain, that they can be summoned through these figurines, and they only, and that's.
It's a magical relic
magical
from
item.
the old world.
So it's not. This is not my power. The power is imbued within the statues.
What powers do you have?
The power of charm.
And I kind of look at her with an interesting expression, knowing that she's searched me, so she knows. And I'll say, well,
But you don't know that it was me.
Well, at this point, you know that somebody's tried to search me, right? I know
Oh,
that
like
you
physically
know.
search.
No. Like my emotions. Otherwise, you would have no inkling that I have powers. Like,
Yeah.
why would you think that?
Because you just made lions appear.
Right, and I explained
that's
those.
true. He
had a
and
plausible
I
explanation.
He had a plausible
sufficiently
explanation.
explained those and a very real and true explanation.
The only other powers he would assume
So-
he had is the ability to hide from you,
Yeah,
because that's
okay.
his main thing. Yeah.
So,
He's
so,
Rylandic royalty, so of course it
Yeah.
would have been given to him.
so what I could say is, by your question, I understand you have tried to read me.
What powers do you have?
And you respond. And then I'll say, I cannot be read unless I wish to be read.
Are those the extent of your powers?
No's going to invite more questions.
Everything's going to invite more questions, right? So that is not the extent of the magic I can produce.
What magic can you produce? What are your powers?
Pardon me, my queen. This is not the place to discuss this.
In front of Gringle and everybody.
There are a
As-
couple other people in this room. That's a fair thing to say.
As I look around the room at the others.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
Get out! Is that the next thing?
Yeah, leave
Everyone
us.
get the hell out! As you're clearing the room, you can see that they've brought up bars and they brought up Brannick, and they're ready to start assembling a little
Cage.
prison whenever you're ready. You want me to hold?
Yeah.
Okay, but they just all
Because he's
clear
all
the room.
drugged for like a day.
Oh, he's
so,
drugged. Yeah, they're dragging him by his arms. Yeah.
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 It's too big to carry.
Yeah, I mean, he's too big to carry. He's basically just in sack rags again.
Yeah, and I
they've
don't
stripped
want
him of everything.
I don't want him in. I keep him in the like dungeons or something until I'm ready to deal with him.
Done.
Like,
Drag him back
God.
downstairs.
And I want to be notified immediately if he begins to stir.
Sure, if he wakes up. Yeah.
Or
absolutely.
even like
Right. But let's drug him again too.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
just keep pouring it down his throat until I say otherwise.
Not a problem.
I'll say, okay. I'll say,
Slam, 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 slam.
I'll say, thank you, my queen. And then I will say, in the spirit of honesty and openness, I will answer what you ask if you respond in kind and tell me the powers that you currently possess. And then while she's hesitating, which I knew she would,
You first.
I can say, yes, of course, this is a sensitive. You understand. And then I'll look at her and I say, you understand the sensitive nature of this topic. Perhaps this conversation would be better off put on hold.
No. Can I trust you?
Of course.
Do we need to roll for this? Like, can I trust him?
Well, it's an interesting question because can he answer that?
Right. So of course I can answer. Yes, you can trust me.
Right, but
I know what that means in my mind. I don't know what you're actually asking.
Like
in
how
all
does
reality.
he?
That's
yeah,
not a specific
that's a difficult.
question.
It's a difficult question to like. It's open-ended. For like, can I trust you? Like, well, maybe I believe you can trust me, but it doesn't mean you can trust me. Does you see what I'm saying? Like,
How much further does the information discussed in this room go?
that's a very direct question.
I will not reveal to anyone else except with my lions, with whom I discuss everything. 'Cause that's true as well. The nature and extent of your true abilities.
Will your lions share this information with anyone?
No, my lions cannot.
There was some sort of like, like the unbreakable vow in Harry Potter.
Yes.
But this is essentially what this is, right? Because if I was lying, we'd have to roll for it. But if we don't roll for it, I'm not lying.
No, because no one can tell if you're lying.
Oh, so I could just lie freely.
Correct.
I didn't know that.
That's the problem.
Well,
She
then
can't
why-
read you.
Then why did we?
Then
Why
why
if
did
you're
we roll?
doing perception rolls, because he can give away hints.
Yeah.
You just can't know magically with certainty.
Right, because
if he's lying.
no one can lie to me. Is
Sure.
like one of my powers.
Exactly. But you can't magically determine if he can lie, but you can still see telltale human things if he's lying.
That's
you can still
hence
do
the like
perceptions.
rolling for perception.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, then I'll go with that. That's a good answer.
Sorry, what was it again?
I will not.
Share with anyone other than your lions.
Yep.
You are here for more than collecting your brother.
Yes.
What are your aims? And particularly, what are your intentions?
I told you at the very beginning, and my personal aims and goals have been the same since the Gods' War. I look to reclaim the magic and the power that the elves have lost, and to restore our race to the glory that we once held.
To whom do you owe your loyalty?
I owe my loyalty to myself and to the race of elves that I to the High Elves.
My clan and my family.
My
and
clan,
to
and my
Rylend.
family, of course.
Perception from you.
4 + 9 is 13.
That's going to do it. There is a hum. You can first feel it. It was a little distracting at first. You just kind of ignored it because you just thought it was some background noise as you were talking. But the hum has grown. And you're recognizing now that there's a resonance inside the tier of Sito. And it's starting to get louder and louder.
Like
at
an
this
earthquake?
point. Almost like an earthquake.
Are you doing that?
No, but you can certainly feel it.
Is it continuous?
Yes,
or...
in building.
That doesn't seem great. Wait here, and like basically, I'm immediately gonna like mentally connect with the tier, and like
You see her eyes kind of roll back and then glow and then swirl with the same pattern of the ocean above her. So you can just kind of like put feelers out in all directions and you
like,
immediately
what the
know-
hell is going on?
Yeah, you can immediately feel it. It's a huge amount of energy. It's coming directly from the Union. There is a spike of energy being fired into the air. Bright bolt of energy being fired directly into the air, and the world storm seems to be swirling into it. You can just feel crackling energy from all over.
And is it like a physical vibration?
Yes.
So like, would a non-magic feel it?
Everyone feels this.
Oh, sorry about that.
Do I get a sense of like danger from it?
I mean, it doesn't feel. I mean, there's certainly.
It's disconcerting.
It's disconcerting, but the immediate problem seems to be at the Union.
Okay.
And that you're just feeling some sort of shock after effects from it. So it's not
Okay.
immediately concerning as far as danger, but it's concerning just as far as amplitude.
Switch my tier of saw, like, thing of, like, finding out what the hell is going on and use it to, like, project as much calm I can over the city. Because I don't need panic in the populace, especially after some bloody guy turns up at a party.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, that's
no kidding.
not awesome.
That's a little unsettling.
Yeah.
So you fill the water with Xanax.
Yeah, basically. You see her shift, and you are not directly affected by this, but you can still feel it. You can still feel those waves of calm pressing over you. You know exactly what she's doing. She's flooding the entire city through the water with calm. Waves and waves of magical calm. You know, there are guards outside, and there's a lot of rush and yelling, and then you can hear that yelling kind of calm down and quiet, and people are still moving quickly, but things are done in a little more orderly fashion. So you're able to, you know, you've done this before. This is not unusual. You're able to get that out there, and as you're doing it, the waves of energy are lessening, the earthquakes, whatever, is lessening, and it quiets down. Until it fades away.
Excellent. All right. So I think at that point, what I would do is, yay, calm, whatever. Well, it seems I've made my decision. I've just given you a demonstration of my powers.
You have indeed. Thank you. And then I reach out and I touch her and give her armor.
Oh, cool. Okay. So he gently places, it's a rather bold move actually, but he gently places a hand on your shoulder, and this magical translucent armor appears all around you. Very similar.
Like mine?
Except different color. So let's say that his is amber, and let's say that it's more of like a breastplate with like like more in line of his style of armor than Xion's, than the plate armor. But in every way, very similar.
Quite impressive. Is this the extent of the magic you control?
Is it? I don't even know.
No. No, it is not.
This is what we have time for now. Do you have answers? What was that?
That event seems to have passed.
Yeah, the earthquake seems to have passed. So again, I don't see the limits on our time.
Pardon me, my queen, but I must check on my ships. They are 3 of the only in the world.
They're also the only thing that can break the Kadarian line.
And if they're destroyed, there's a lot of problems that all of us have.
Yeah, it's really true.
I understand you are eager for answers. There will be time.
Again, I just unnecessarily leaving the palace grounds in times of upheaval.
This is necessary.
She also has, there was literally just an earthquake. Like, did things collapse in your kingdom? I don't know.
It's possible.
Perhaps I should be among my people. Ugh, irritating.
Noblesse oblige.
Oh, it's exhausting the people.
I started out the day being exhausted with all of the demands. I just wish I could be more confident that we were working towards the same goals.
Seem to be working towards the same bed. No.
Smooth, Aram.
This is why you get so much action, right?
Yeah.
I suppose.
All right, the moment you found the shield, teleport back to us.
Yeah, I know. Come on, let's go, everybody!
Okay.
I want my horse to go fast.
Split team!
Yes, I know. Okay.
Let's
so
confuse Aram.
we're going. Yeah. Okay. So it's going to take you.
Which team?
It's going to take a day to get to the fire. It's going to take half a day to get to the shield.
So we have half a day to get the shield.
Yeah. So we're going to start with the shield. So.
Okay.
You guys break north, the other team goes due west, and we have officially split the party.
You wanted 2 stories, now you can have 3.
3, yeah. Well, you're making the right decision.
My favorite part of season 1 was when we were all split up, and like those two were like, doing their like running around chasing golems and shit, and like while Phryane was dealing with her father, and while Per and I were being tried.
No, I mean in this particular instance, it does make the most sense to do it this way. So you're heading north.
Team Dorro heading north.
Team Dorro is heading north. Okay.
Team Torrvic is heading west.
Team Torrvic is heading west.
Team Reno.
Reno.
Team Ramrod.
Okay.
Oh, you forgot to say.
So a couple hours into the journey, you've already lost sight of the wagon long ago. There's very hilly as you're approaching the jungle in front of you. The land starts to gently slope upwards and to start to get grassier. The sand and rock is starting to give way to shrubs and grassland. I would like perception rolls from everyone on Team Dorro.
Team Dorro. Cool.
Should have said something, man. I don't know what to tell you. I'm writing something.
22.
But not letting anyone see it.
Yeah.
22. Me and Oinkers are having a good time.
Again, hang on. Sirenna
and
is
Joshua.
clearly going north. Yeah, and Joshua. Okay, Joshua definitely sees it. You see it too. You guys are riding, and it is dark. It's like midnight now. And you have been going north. You're taking, I mean, there's no path, there's no trail. You're just kind of heading north roughly. As you're going, you start to see movement. The rocks are getting larger. There's, boulders now once in a while. There's rolling hills, and you saw some movement going from hillside to hillside at the same time. And just as you're about to point, off to the right, there's some movement. Joshua's pointing off to the left. There's some movement. And as you look, you can see creatures moving from, hillside and rock to rock on
big,
both sides
or do
of
they
you.
look like...
They're definitely like orcs. They're hunched over, muscular. There's definitely orcs trailing you on both sides now.
So I gestured him. I do it like trying to do it more quietly, but I try to gesture that there's like all around. Like
Okay, sure. Sure. Perception rolls from the rest of you with advantage.
Oh, okay. And well done. So 16 and 19.
You definitely see that Joshua and the queen have an unspoken language. They know each other so well. She can give the queen a signal for danger in a heartbeat. So you're all now aware, looking at each other, fully aware that you know this is happening, but you haven't broken pace. You're all just continuing like nothing's happened. You haven't openly reacted to it yet.
Up with us?
Mm-hmm. And they're keeping up with you.
It's the 5 of us, right? You, me,
Joshua,
Sirenna, her bodyguard, and Caitlin.
And dead weight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of mention in a low tone, now that I'm realizing that we've been surrounded, that none of them know what we can do. You probably shouldn't do it if you don't have to.
I mean, you guys are going at like a light gallop. You could pick up speed if you chose to. If you could make a break for it, basically. They are on foot.
My rogue sense says no. Keep the ambush.
Okay. Sirenna seems willing to go with that. She nods.
Yeah. But if anything, is there a way that, I understand she's just kind of directing us and stuff, so we're not really following like a specific path. Is there any way we can make this a little harder for them to flank us? Naturally, not clearly like stopping and turning or something.
So imagine that you're in kind of an openish field. Yeah. There's large boulders once in a while.
All over the place and
right?
stuff.
And it's a
they're
little
moving
rocky.
between them, but
yeah.
Is there any way that we can see, we know how we're moving and how they'll in turn move because they're flanking. Can we position them so it's harder for them to get cover and
You're
stuff?
currently in kind of, I would say, a V. The Queen and Joshua are at the very point, and then you guys are on either side. So I'd say you're kind of forming a wedge right now. You want to change positioning?
No, leave our formation, but the direction that the group is moving. Can we, like... Think of a railroad track.
Or we can make
building their track somewhere more difficult.
Roll perception.
We can also deceive them because I have light arrows, so I could shoot in one direction and we could start to head the other, and they'd be.
If they can track us in the dark now without light, they can see us without that light.
True.
Roll perception. Everyone on this team, yeah. Okay. Everyone on this team, roll perception.
17.
8.
Nice. Okay.
Not nice. That's terrible.
You spot where the land picks up into a rise, so it is a little bit more open, and it's in the general area where you're going. You have to break east a bit, maybe add another hour on to wherever you're going, but you'd be on a rise and the rocks would fall low. So if they were gonna, you would have advantage of height and sight over them if you took that path. It might
signal
make it
toward
harder.
the path, still being discreet. And then, like, reference that it's, like, up. Like, I like, do, like, a...
High ground. Here.
High ground, that way.
Sirenna's 19. She got that fine. Cool. Joshua nods. You guys head that way. The ground begins to slope upwards. And with better vision now, you guys can clearly see where the orcs break off on either side. They grunt at each other and break off on either side, and are just kind of, like, shadowed as you guys pull away north, and they're just standing there watching you pull away. You landed here,
right?
And you came up and ran due north, and you're just about here at this.
So it's just because we were in their land, and we didn't provoke anything. So
she's pointing away now from the direction that those orcs are, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Well, then obviously,
They wanted to see what you were doing in their lands, and you left.
Yeah.
Or at least what they perceive as their lands. Yeah.
And if for nothing else, we just look like travelers.
Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
All right.
So you've now been riding for about half an hour. There's been no other sign of orcs. Sirenna is very clearly leading you in a north direction now, just on a straight line. You guys were waving a little bit. Now it's a straight line towards the edge of the jungle.
I asked her if the pull is stronger. She's feeling a
Yes,
strong pull.
much
Okay.
stronger. Perception rolls.
13.
And I got a 21.
Okay, excellent. All right, you're the first one to spot it. There's
Orcs,
a glow. No. It's right. Orcs. I am
orcs,
not
orcs,
getting eaten.
orcs,
I am
orcs,
not
orcs.
getting eaten. Yeah. You see it
Keep far
first.
away from me.
There's a silver glow, just over this
I
next
see it?
rise. Yeah, like this little line of silver. And as you kind of turn towards Sirenna nods. She clearly understands what you're seeing, and she sees it as well. You see, like just over this next hill, maybe 20 minutes north.
I'm concerned that I see it, though. That means everybody sees it. So, okay. So,
Keep heading.
we're probably going to need some stealth rolls soon.
Yeah, I'm good at that.
As you're approaching up and you're coming over this rise, so are you?
Stealth.
What are you doing?
That's that.
So
Perhaps even
tie up the horses.
like stop a little early
Okay,
and then maybe
sure.
sneak up there
Yeah.
in case they literally have a watchtower right there or something like that. I just start to go do it by myself, but then
I
you're
can
probably
sneak up.
like
And can
right behind
I ask
me.
Oinkers if she can turn into something stealthy?
Okay, yes. So hang on. So yes, Oinkers as a horse heard you say stealthy, and Oinkers goes clop, and then realizes that's not going to work, and then she turns into an owl, and she just kind of hoot.
I clap. Good job. And I say, stay close as she flies off.
Right, and this kind of swoops around, but it's like this kind of gray owl swoops silently into the
Okay, I want to
into the
constantly try to
night.
keep an eye on Oinkers.
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I feel like I got left the child in my scare.
You better return with Oinkers intact.
I know.
You damn well better.
There are certain things that are unforgivable.
That's her. Come back with
Protect this
Oinkers.
pig with your
Yep.
life.
No one will forgive you. If you
Yeah, I
ever-
know,
yeah,
right?
No one.
Get off of Godsfall.
Yeah, you can shoot Torrvic all you want, but you better not strike down
Don't you
Oinkers.
fucking lose Oinkers.
All right, so Oinkers vanishes into the night.
Okay.
And you guys are cresting up this ridge. I would like move silently rolls.
Stealth.
I would like stealth rolls.
23!
14.
Okay.
Was there
so-
ever a Dorro?
Yeah, so now Dorro usually carries himself kind of this kind of thing. Like, Dorro's always chest forward, right? He's very proud all the time. So it's a very noticeable change when Dorro all of a sudden hunches over, cloak comes up, his shoulders don't really bob now. There's no bounce in his step. It's just this silent little thing weaving. You see him like stepping around bushes and branches, avoiding it. Very much, you were trained in this in forest. You've been trained to avoid branches and noises and things. He's very good at this, and definitely wasn't trained the same way you were. But you can recognize that he's a deadly little thing when he wants to be. But you guys all creep up to the edge of the Yep, good. You guys all creep up to the edge and kind of like get onto your stomachs and are doing that kind of elbow crawl thing right up to the ridge. There is a crater in front of you. 40 feet down, there's a bright silver glow, and the shield is just sitting there, and kind of like silvery tendrils are rising up from it.
This is obviously a perception roll.
Okay. Just like, I was like, what do you, I saw you pick up the dice and you were like going, and I was like,
I know
what are we
you know
going
the
for?
next step of this. 15.
32.
Wow. Okay. Give me a knowledge nature roll.
You see 14 squirrels, 2 bears, 3 birds, a sparrow, a pigeon.
Not natural 20.
Natural 20.
Not
Okay.
natural. It's
Not
a 20, but
natural
it's not natural.
Okay, Sirenna starts to lift herself up and like make some motions towards going to retrieving the shield. You grab her and haul her back down, and you start looking around. Something's not right here. This isn't just a crater. There's claw marks on the edges, and there's dig marks all around this. There's something else going on here.
I say that. I'm like, there's something else going on.
There's no listen roll. It's just perception, right? Roll it again.
22.
As you say that, you hear the screams of horses and then some sort of unnatural growling and then a dragging noise.
Where are the horses?
Correct. Where the horses were tied up.
Grab Sirenna and teleport us to the shield.
Okay.
Can I get in a tree?
Yeah, well, hang on. This shit hints at what he's doing, so
Okay.
this can happen in an instant. No.
I look at her,
Okay.
then grab Sirenna and do this.
Okay.
Right.
I'm
I
like,
jump into a tree.
I'm like,
Okay.
combat.
Roll dex.
Not natural 20.
Okay, but you are basically hand over hand in a
I have to
tree,
drag Caitlin up there, too.
12 feet up. You've got your arrow out. You've got, oh wait, Caitlin.
Yeah.
she has Caitlin with her.
Caitlin can't climb a tree that fast. She can't.
Fuck. Well,
So you start going up the tree,
forgets Caitlin.
and no, Caitlin runs behind her. Caitlin starts to climb and rolled a 19, so Caitlin is actually able to.
She sees me in front of. She starts mimicking what I'm doing.
Yep, Caitlin makes
See, you
it
guys
up
are like,
the-
leave Caitlin.
Yeah,
I don't think so, Tomb Raider.
Tree, you make sure she's against the trunk. You've got your bow out. You've got like 1 foot on one branch and one on the other, just delicately balanced up there.
All right.
You go, boom, you're in the crater. She reaches
the
out,
first one.
grabs her shield, and there's just an explosion of energy and light around you. You feel it push against you, but not necessarily like enough to blast you out, but you definitely feel this energy. And then
aura.
she's now glowing
Okay.
with a silvery glow.
Can I see where they ended up?
Yeah, they're right above you
My
in the tree.
next blink then is to put us there.
Okay.
Not in the tree.
No. Go into another
At
tree.
the tree.
Okay, so you grab her and then boom, you blink into the tree just as a pair of stone jaws snap shut. It's like a large beak with horrid fangs on either side slam shut and then pull back into the dirt and stone beneath it.
naturally.
And I spit in the direction and said, I knew it! It was like an antlion! I knew it!
So we don't have horses. We only have workers.
Kind of lost.
So, we don't need it, because now I'm going to bring us right back to the wagon. Fuck a horse.
Right, so you guys
You
are at
can
the-
be a horse.
Right, you
Who
guys
cares?
are at the foot of the tree, and you can hear kind of like a rumbling coming from behind you.
Where's
and
Oinkers and all? She's fine.
she's
already.
out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Oinkers isn't out. So you can hear a rumbling coming from there. You can hear a rumbling coming from behind you. The ground is shaking, and you hear a screech as an owl is diving and flaps and lands in the tree next to you.
We have to get off the ground.
Roll dex to climb.
Yeah.
And Josra. Don't forget.
21.
Yep. Okay, hang on. Let me describe now. 1 second. So you just appear on a tree branch wherever you want.
Okay.
Yeah, the Joshua and the Queen scamper up another one, but
Yeah, I
they're
never
all like
worried about
thick trees, kind of like right on the edge of this jungle, all next to each other. Lots of vines and stuff you can easily
Any
climb
kind of
up.
like thing I could pluck from the tree and throw as in like a miniature non-damaging projectile.
Sure, there's like, let's say, there's like this weird kind of like bulbous, but like bunch of little bumps on it, kind of orange fruit.
Fruit or something.
Yeah, sure.
I take those and proceed to keep pelting the ground laughing.
All right, as you're doing that, there is the ground kind of bursts open on two parts of this tree, and you see the heads of these creatures poke out. Like a knowledge nature, a knowledge arcana from you.
I'm not.
Oh, you're not there.
you're
I'm
not
sorry,
there.
never mind.
I'm riding on a little cart.
And then suddenly you know if these creatures.
Are we in a forest?
You're at the edge of a forest, so no. No.
Come on, man.
No.
Come on.
No.
An 8.
Yeah, no, you don't know. You've never seen these creatures.
A
There are
9,
these-
though. That
there are
wouldn't have
these-
done it. Like,
They're
no, I would have gotten, like,
basically
it would have been higher.
silver with these huge beak-like heads, and their eyes are within these beaks, and their jagged edges along. They look like this. Two of them, large and gray, like almost like the skin of a shark that they would then go into this, rock beneath them. They seem to be able to move through rock very easily. They come up and they walk around the tree a little bit and they snarl, and then they both dive back into the dirt, and there's some rumbling, and now it's just quiet.
Okay, so I need to teleport us back to the wagon.
Yay,
Bulette.
Team Sirenna Marlin.
Yep, okay.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Focus your energy.
Do you
roll.
want me to? I can.
Everyone roll wisdom. Who is on this team?
Caitlin's there, but she's never done it before.
5.
That would be a good point.
Oh, Caitlin's here too.
Caitlin, come to my side of the tree.
Okay.
Well, we don't have to make contact anyway. So.
So she holds your hand.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you start talking about the bridge and what it does, and this is how you do. Well, you
how
probably.
much, how much of the bridge does Caitlin know?
well, she rolled a 19, and it's wisdom, so she rolled a 21.
I got a 2.
Okay.
I got a 10.
Oh.
I love wisdom.
Okay.
Caitlin appears.
Okay, yeah. So you talk her through the bridge and you talk her into focusing, and you guys are focusing for a second and really focusing, and she's like, all right, I'll make a bridge and I'll use my abilities. And she pushes her dream state out because that connects to yours. So the dream state unfolds from her. And as she does it, reality spills out.
Do I know that? Like, can I tell that
it happens.
Is happening?
It envelops you. It envelops you very quickly.
Level 2 for Caitlin.
You rolled.
What's up?
2.
She can make it come out now.
Yeah.
You rolled
She sure did. So this reality just like flows out of her like a bubble. And all around you, roll perception.
Both of
Do
us?
I have to?
Both of us?
Just him, because you've never been here.
21.
Yeah, you're like, oh wow, this is just like all of you just appeared in Port Bliss. And you can't feel that Seeker Stone any longer. The connection to it
from over there.
is gone. You have a general idea of the direction, but you can't connect to it anymore. It's too far away.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Godsfall. We have maps, character art, and world notes on our website at godsfall.com, as well as links to our Patreon account and Godsfall t-shirts. If you want up-to-the-minute information about our podcast and the Godsfall World Book, follow us on Twitter at GodsfallDC. We also want to take a minute to tell you about our good friends over at battlebards.com who have been kind enough to send us a catalog of all new sounds. They've added undead minions like zombies and skeleton hordes, and the necromancy spells that summon them. Weather like the roar of a powerful wind and the crash of lightning. Enchantment spells like Hold Person and Transfixion. Even the gruff, barking tone of a dwarf. So if you want your game to sound as good as Godsfall, check out battlebards.com. That's all from us this week. For notes, maps, and more, check us out on godsfall.com.